the coach. One is a coach at Yale University named Brian Tompkins. The other is a coach at University of Maryland, Sasho Sarovsky. Became good friends of mine, and I somewhat named the program in tribute to these people who introduced my family and I to the game. Now, the idea of the progression that we're going to look at is developing skill and helping players develop skill in what I called self-structured training progression. And I think when we talk about the game of soccer, it is most fun when it is played well. I think often players say that they have most fun when they win. I don't know if that's necessarily true, because I think I've seen a lot of players have a lot of fun in games that they haven't won, but they really enjoy the game when they play well. And players who really love the game play when there's no scoreboard on, there's no referees, they just love to play, and they enjoy it when they play well. And I think as we're talking about developing skill, it's with a view of helping players have a great experience in the game and have a lot of fun with the game. Now, just a couple points here, and most of my comments are going to be related to the coaching of this type of training. And the first thing is what I call the essence of dribbling, and that's what we're going to focus on. The essence of dribbling skill is what I would call situation awareness and control, and developing for players an awareness of what situations they're in, and then having an appropriate level of skill to be able to deal with those situations. The second area is the area of control. And talking about control, I think of 4 words. Balance is number 1. Second is the word order, and as we get into combinations, what I mean is the order, the sequence of steps to the moves. Third is the word precision, which is the quality of touch, and then the fourth is the speed at which the sequence of moves would be made, again, depending on the situations. Now, from the coach's perspective, when we're teaching skill, it's got to come from the mind and the mouth of the coach into the mind and into the body of the player. And so to make that type of a connection from the mind of the coach to the instruction to the player, so that the player gets the thought in the mind conceptually, then into the mechanics, and then finally what we're looking for is reflex response. That players understand conceptually how to develop their skill. We put them into a development environment so that they can develop mechanics, and then that they practice enough that they get reflex responses. Now, the handout that you were given, we're going to start on page 2, okay, where you can see that we have, it says Magic Moves Ball Skills Training. And we will be going through this progression, and I'll explain the progression to you. First of all is what I call the Technical Touch Series. And the purpose of the Technical Touch Series is to do what I call feet education. It's to train the feet to be able to move the ball in different directions with different surfaces of the feet. And it's something that is designed very well, or much so, for a warm-up type of a progression. And you'll see as we go through the demonstration, we're not running around, we're staying in a very small space, just working with the feet. Now, the second category is what I call the Quick Touch Series. The Quick Touch Series, the purpose of it is control and then direction. Controlling ball and then direction or explosiveness by putting combinations together. The third category is what I call small space patterns, where we begin to work in choreographed moves so that players are developing a variety of moves and versatility with these moves that they can then begin to look into applying in the game situations. And the fourth is what we'll call situation moves. And there will be 4 categories of situation moves. The first category is what I call just direct attack moves. You're running at a player in the open field, and what can we do with the ball as far as breaking that defender down to get into space to either get a shot, make a pass, advance the ball into some dangerous territory. The second is what I call stop and go moves, which is where we're running with the player. We don't feel we can beat them with speed. We stop the ball, hesitate, we put a sequence of moves on, and then try to shift their weight and move the ball into open space. The third would be what we'll call face-off moves, where we're in a stationary position, the player with the ball is not running, the defender's not running. Again, we want to shift the player's weight and move them off balance so that we can separate ourselves with the ball. And the fourth is what I call 180 turn moves, which would be relating to possession moves to take the ball away from defensive pressure. Now, with your hand out, what we'll do is go through this sequence. We'll have these gentlemen here in the center, our primary demonstrators. I'm going to try to keep my eye on my list so we're doing things right, but we'll start